in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. Skin Place. Sell items now.
When every move counts, your chair shouldn't hold you back. Top esports players are switching to Anthros for unbeatable support and performance that keeps them in the game longer. Designed to support your unique shape and built with medical-grade components, Anthros is setting a new standard for comfort. Check out the Anthros difference today and get ready to fix your sit, because gaming deserves more than just a chair.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Counter-Strike fans across the globe, welcome back to another installment of HLTV Confirmed, brought to you by our lovely sponsors, Anthros. If you need a chair, check out Anthros. It'll fix you back. And Skin Place. If you need to buy and sell skins, head over to Skin Place, see what they have on offer. All right. We're not going to dilly-dally. Cologne's come to its conclusion. We got Strike, we got Prof, we got Lucas on the buttons as well. We got Cats in the background, but we have a very special guest joining us today. Major winner over there in Shanghai, hates chairs, loves to kick him, so keep Anthros away from this boy right here. But it's going to be magixx, Boris the Butcher, joining us. Boris, what's going on, mate?
Hey, guys. How are you feeling today?
I guess these two would have been traveling like me yesterday. So Is everybody feeling okay?
I came in at 1 a.m. and then have been busy since 10 in the morning. So it's been interesting.
All right, we're going to need you to prop us up today then, Boris, by the sound of things, because everyone else is still putting the pieces back together.
It's Shanghai all over again. It's the grand final all over again. You have to carry this shit. It's all on you.
Okay, easily.
Nice. What's going on in the background there behind you, mate? What are those cutouts?
There's 2 characters from Yakuza game.
Okay. I thought it was like Tekken or something. So I know Counter-Strike and maybe on the peripheries of things, the Yakuza game. All right, fine. I'll have to look into that after the fact. Now, where are you at? Your flag in TeamSpeak. I don't want to dox you. Is that where you are? Is the flag correct?
Yeah.
Okay. How's the weather outside? Looks nice. Looks like the sun's out.
Oh, it's insanely hot every day. Oh, it's actually not hot today. It's plus 25 degrees, but in 5 days it's plus 35. So I think the AC in my room won't be capable of handling it. So I will be dying at my PC.
Okay. All right. We'll see if Yanko can ship you a new one. He probably lives just down the road, mate. Now, listen, for the people who aren't aware, let's catch them up to speed. Now, I said major winner, Shanghai. You were in Spirit for a goddamn long time. It was late 2019 when you first joined that roster. You've been benched going into the tournament break. And now I saw you on JL's stream. So in terms of life and what you've been up to, what have you been doing throughout the break?
Oh, I mean, I had a pretty short break, maybe around 2 weeks, which is pretty similar to players' break. I've been doing some life stuff, doing some health, fixing something, working on something, and after that, I came back to the PC, and I'm usually streaming almost every single day, playing Face It because there is nothing else to do currently. So yeah, that's it. Also, I went to Italy for 5 days. 3 days ago, I came back. I went to see the map from CS. If you see that, the Rialto one. Also, I've been actually looking for places in Italy which are from the judges from the anime.
Okay.
Judges Bizarre Adventures. You should check it out.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you're gonna be lost with anime references in this room. Maybe.
Nah, Prof might be able to keep up.
Prof is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a lot in Italy, basically, and now I'm back to PC again, and I'm just going to stream daily because It is well everything I can do right now.
You're
Okay.
saying you hate the heat, but I mean, Italy in the summer gets pretty rough these days. It's like 40s most of the time. Wasn't it crazy there?
I've been in Venice only, and it was not that hot. It has never been like above 30, and it was raining like half of the days I was there. So it was fine because if I compare it to the Belgrade weather, it's super easy.
All right, nice. Well, let's do this. I want to talk today with you about Cologne, everything unfolded, get it from your perspective. But what I want to do first is talk a little bit about you. And we like to do a Skinionaire little quiz for everybody playing at home. And the quiz this week is going to be about you. So you should be pretty good at answering this. Do you think you're up to the task?
Oh, that might be difficult.
It's 5 questions, right? We know. Look, I know that you have a great memory. When we were doing a Pro League segment, we were talking about you were talking about what the weather was like when you were winning in Shanghai, down to the degree, mate. So I think you should be all good at this. Now it's going to be 5 questions, multiple choice. The people in Twitch chat and Kick can type Skin Place in chat right now. This is brought to them by Skin Place. We'd have one lucky winner taking home, or make it 2, the grand prize of $50 skin. If not, we learned something. So let's get this one underway. I'm going to pop open the screen and all right, let's get this one underway. Question number 1.
Can I open the link in the TeamSpeak?
Yeah, if you want.
What's
Let
this?
me
I'm
whack it.
not doing it.
This one right here. I can do it for you. So it's all good. You can just give the answer if you want.
Uh-huh.
Who has been on Spirit's roster for longer? Was it magixx or was it SDY?
It was me.
Locking in A, magixx. Correct answer is?
Me?
It's kind of crazy. You're only 22 and you turned 22 this year. It was back in June. Was it June 6th? Did I get the day right? 3rd. Okay. See, yep. I didn't do my homework properly, but it was early June. So you've only turned 22 this year, but you were in Spirit since 2019, late 2019. That's a very long time.
Yeah, I signed couple months after I was 16 at that point. So yeah, pretty early, I guess.
And you've been through maybe it'll come up in the questions. I was going to start talking about the Antwerp semi-final against FaZe, but we'll get through it. We'll see where the questions take us. I'm not sure exactly what Dimitri's given me here. All right, question number 2. What year did you have the best rating? Was it 2022, 2023, or 2024?
2022, easily.
Okay, locking in A, 2022. Correct answer is?
It is.
2022. You said easily. How come easily?
Well, basically, my rating was around 110 in 2022, mostly because of the roles I've been playing. So I was basically the 3rd piece after Patsy, playing like roles which is like for donk, someone else, and Wonderful, who's opening obviously in CSGO. It was easy, and I was like pretty important piece back then in a squad. And after the academy trio came in the middle of 2023, I went into the like fully supportive role with Dontix basically taking up my duties in there.
Okay,
So
well, that makes sense.
It definitely affects the ratings, I think.
If you get on a new team, what type of role do you want to play?
Oh, I mean, it depends on the squad, but personally, it's between 2, I think. It's between going to become an IGL or lurking, because
Okay.
I'm not willing to like play star roles to fight everyone everywhere. I'm not doing all that shit. But also, I don't really want to play the same way I played last like year and a half, or 2 years almost.
So the running in first dying, not as sexy of a role for you anymore.
It's kinda depressing. I mean, unless you're playing with donk.
Yeah.
I imagine, right, throwing you 2 and then still being the guy who has to entry, right, after all the nades are already gone, that's not a fun time either. And,
So-
yeah?
If instead of donk you had Kiyosuke, would it be okay?
I would not even buy armor to save up money to drop him an AK. It's like it's easy. This is the way.
Yeah, we don't need any more modern day Sanjis, you know. Like let's keep the AKs in your hands as well, mate. All right. Let's get into question number 3 here. In magixx head-to-head matches, who has won more games? Is it A, magixx, or B, magixx?
Tough question. This is a tough question.
So tough.
But
Did you play
history.
Trawlers a lot?
No,
The early 2 years? Not
I
much,
mean,
right?
we have been owned by them. Usually we lost to them 3 times, but I'm not sure if there was a magixx back then in there. I remember there was Lucky when we lost to them in Pro League, and it was
It
bad
was like
times.
2020, no? 2021 even maybe.
2021, yeah, after summer. Oh, this is weird
And then
because
Falcons.
we didn't play that much against each other for me to remember, but I even lost a game when he was in Falcons. It was a 1 match, and before that, not sure, we won them once with 16-1 on Dust, so it's magixx.
Okay. All right. Locking in A, magixx. Correct answer is. Oh. Yeah, that's like a caster's nightmare, isn't it? Those 2 names combined in a cast. It's a tough one. Okay. 3 from 3.
Currently it isn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Both,
Currently.
both on the bench, so it's not
Yeah,
really a
That's
problem.
a good point. That's a good point. All right. Question number 4. At 1.21, your best ever big event was the following. It was not the Shanghai Major.
Dallas.
Dallas? Yeah. Okay. I'll lock in Dallas. IEM Dallas 2024. Correct answer is.
You had a
Shit,
sick
okay.
group stage there or something, right? I remember this.
Yeah, and we lost to Vitality pretty easily in the first game, so I couldn't secure my first EVP back then. I remember the post from HLTV. I remember like I played against Navi. There was a map, an Ancient, where I posted 1.92 rating, and the other map was also fine. And against Face Clan, I played both maps pretty good. Both were pretty close to 1.3, so I was like at 1.27 or 1.33 after the group stage. Yeah, and then playoffs where I played 101 or 0.99, not sure.
Yeah.
Damn. Either way, the numbers coming off the top of the
I
dome.
love how
no
he
problem.
is like,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna be difficult, bro. I actually remembered mid that answer some of your counter quiz that we did like back in the day. This Blood remembers everything. He just knows everything. So it's definitely not hard. It's definitely not hard. Fucking liar.
You know, basically, we have seen it before in a pre-match interview that we're going to get fucked.
He's sandbagging out here. All right, question
Exactly.
number 5. Let's see if we get the 5 from 5. Top 1 finishes at events of which tournament organizer earned you the most prize money? Was it A, Blast, B, PGL/Perfect World, or C, Bepum Dacha?
Oh, can I get an extra minute?
It's going to add it up.
Oh,
The Bepum events had good prize money, didn't they?
Yeah.
80 плюс 250.
He's adding it up.
430 плюс. Blast 288. Did we win anything at Blast besides Bounty? Oh, yeah, 250, 288, 500. Блядь, this one is close. I mean, it's not. I think it's not Dachas. Wait. It should not be Dachas. So it's between PGL. So are we adding PGL plus Perfect World?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and Blast. Wait, I think I need to decide between Blast and PGL. Basically, one tournament from Perfect World is 500k major, and Astana is there's 200. So
I guess I think that counts, I would imagine.
yeah. So basically, it is. We're not counting like this share to the
club share.
club.
I
Yeah.
think it does. I don't know. Dimitri would have to confirm, but I would imagine it does count.
So if it does count, it should be second. But if I think on the Blast, because there was Well, we have 250k plus Singapore, 288k in Blast Bounty, which is already over 500k, and there was some more tournaments.
So, Demi says it doesn't matter.
Okay, and
I
there
will
is
give you a hint there.
okay. There is
doesn't
also
matter.
a Blast Major happened, which is also as 45k, which is already.
I reckon this guy does his own accounting for sure.
550.
Oh, this is just top 1 finishes, by the way. I don't know how much you're counting.
Top 1 finishes.
Top 1. Okay, then it's PGL plus Perfect World.
All right, we'll lock it
That was
in.
easy.
PGL plus perfect. Well, correct answer is.
Guy was adding up all of his tries ever.
Well, this was actually what I was doing because I was counting also the Singapore where we lost to G2 in the finals, which was 250k for second place.
Damn.
Okay.
Dude, is this why you want to be an in-game leader? Because you seem to have a very good memory.
Oh, I never miss utils.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? Like, but like your memory is like I wasn't joking when you said you knew like the degrees and stuff when you won the major in China. Like I remember we were talking about it. It was like during a pro league season or something along those lines. So, yeah, it's interesting that you say because you're 22. Do you feel that's like young for an in-game leader?
I mean, if we consider someone starting their career by the age of 18, it might be an early time. But if we consider me as a player who has already played for almost 6 years in the scene, and maybe 3-4 years at So I think we can count from the 2022 as a tier 1 experience. Before there was like online tournaments. We were like low ranked, etc. So it is pretty much.
I mean, 21. You guys were already in the top 10
EPLs and stuff,
for
right?
a bit. Top 12.
Yeah. I mean, I think it doesn't count because it was online, and we can call it a fluke. Everyone loves that word. So if we count like starting from 2022, when we started to visit LANs, like tournaments after COVID, and it's like 3.5 years, 4 years. So it's pretty good amount, maybe. I guess so.
But yeah, I think so too. Now, look, I just want to quickly shout out to Skin Place with Skinionaire. We've got our winners on Twitch. It's _wa, and on Kick, it's Botaz. Our people reach out to your people. We'll get you your skins because magixx got all 5 correct. So you win the grand prize, $50 of a skin coming to either of you. Okay, perfect. So we're done with that. Now we can talk more to you. So you said before you took a couple of weeks off. You went to Italy. You're playing Face It. You're streaming. So you're on the bench right now. But what comes next? Are you just chilling to see what happens with the current roster with zweih? Like, are you thinking, okay, can I get offers from other teams? What's the future look like for magixx?
Basically just sitting on a bench, being transfer listed and waiting for any offers to take a look into, because there was not so many during the break.
Okay, so not a lot of conversation happening just yet around you. But you've said here that you'd be interested in in-game leading or definitely not doing the same supportive roles that you were before. You wanted mentioning lurking. Would you play for an international team?
I think, yeah, because it's not that big of a task to play with players on an English language. It might be difficult for some people to communicate outside of the game, but during the game, it's pretty simple and easy for everyone, because we have seen players who are probably not that comfortable as me speaking on English and playing in international rosters. So I think that would be fine.
Okay. Because we see JL, right? He's obviously in a bit of a different situation, but he says that he decided to take a break, and he says that he's not retiring, but now he's doing all this content creation stuff, and he's going to see what happens in the future. It sounds like from you, do you want to get back into a team as soon as possible?
Yeah, I'm actually like looking for any offers if they come my way. But but I don't think that there will be any before the major, maybe, because not so many teams are willing to make a replacement because the roster window kinda locked at this point after the major. Everyone wants to play tournament, not to try to shuffle their squads or whatever. And I think there might be like the bigger shuffle window right after the Budapest, and this is like the time when I'm looking forward to get back, not because of like my preferences, but because of how it works from the side of, you know, from the POV of any teams out there competing. And yeah, and before that, I have nothing else to do besides playing Faceit and streaming, because I mean, even this is better than sitting and doing nothing, and this is also better than just playing Faceit, not streaming, because, you know, if I'm streaming, someone might see me doing that, playing the game, whatever. Maybe someone can message me. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We were having fun before this, but would you want to put together your favorite team from the people who are available at the moment?
Oh, like, you want me to create a dream team?
Yeah, like from bench players and free agents right now. You know, let's say an organization.
Maybe if there's an open qualifier or something, and you're like, you can pick up some players to run an open qualifier for, let's say, a Fisher event or something in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Could you find players?
How do I find the list of bench players?
I mean, we had this. It's a bit outdated now because we didn't
Some people
update
got
it
picked
like
up
the last couple of months, but last couple of weeks. But you can check this at least. It's going to give you a pretty good idea, I think.
There's some.
I think JL is missing on that because he technically took a break and all that, so I think he's not included. But
there's
don't think you'd forget him.
A bunch of players. Result just got signed, for example.
Result is goated, yeah, but I think he signed like a couple of days for Sangel. I mean, we're not making a dream team at this point.
No, that's not a dream team. Let's be real.
But there's a lot of pieces who are pretty good. Yeah, but we're not. I'm not making the dream team of a bench players at this point.
I have just like one question. Just talking about being on the bench and as you said, playing for 6 years for Spirit. Are you enjoying not being actively a player and not having to play, or just having days that you're just like, yeah, I don't actually care, I'll just go walk in a park or whatever, I don't know, whatever you'd like to do that is not Counter-Strike? Or are you so Counter-Strike pilled like the most of us, and especially Chad, that you just like, you have to play and you have to stream any day, otherwise you feel it's not a good day, it's a waste of time?
Not playing Counter-Strike sucks, and the last thing you mentioned is basically about me, because I like when I was playing active in the roster, I hated like how to call that, off days, like when you're just chilling or whatever, you don't have practice, because I don't like it, because to me, to play the best, I just have to play a bunch of days in a row before the game. And if you're putting like one day to chill or not play procs or not so many Faceit, it's gonna be bad. And it is also the reason why I hate the players break, because after the break, sometimes it's kind of difficult to get back into the shape, and you're like, when you're starting to play the official game after the break, you have to get some time to get used to it.
So are you one of these guys who just played through the break? I guess not this time, you were saying, but maybe the one before.
I mean, sometimes I did like playing during the break. Sometimes I was not able, but if I would have no family or something else, I would have been just sitting whole break playing the game, because I don't think there's any interesting activities out there to do besides playing the game, and I can't do anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
I remember
Just
though,
don't tights.
a couple years ago, I remember like, because in the break, I stay in my home as well. I don't really do too much stuff. And I always have something on the television, and there was, you were streaming a shitload. It was a couple years ago. It was before Donk joined you guys. But I remember like, and I was watching and I was like, man, Boris is fucking grinding real hard. And then I came out super hot on Spirit, like out of the break. It was into an EPL. And I was like, I'm all in. I'm all in on Spirit. Like Boris is in great form. Like you weren't the only one streaming. There was a bunch of the other guys that you were from your team at the time who were there.
When it happened, it was in Cologne 2021, I guess, because I was locked in my hotel room due to COVID restrictions. Something, and that's why I was just sitting after the tournaments for 2 more weeks or 1.5 week, just sitting in there, just playing Faceit and streaming. But actually, it was good.
All right. Well, we've got to the bottom of it. He's an absolute grinder over here. Now, listen. Do we want to get a bit into what happened with the benching on Spirit, guys, or do we want to start focusing on Cologne?
I mean, yeah, why not? I think if he is willing to share something, why not get that part over, and then we can talk about the team as it is now, right?
Okay. Are you willing to give us a little bit of insight, Boris, on what happened at the end of last season and how it all went down?
Oh, there's not a lot of things to say. We just lost, and we didn't with the top 3 team during the half a year. So that's all.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. That seems to track.
Were you disappointed that it was you going out?
No, I think it was pretty expected, because if you're building a team, there's a core of like 3 players, which is pretty difficult to replicate or replace, which is like IGL, all player, and donk. So basically, you can always like do whatever changes needed to the last 2 pieces, who are like anchors or whatever, because they are not affecting the way the team plays that much. And so that's why it was obvious for me.
Okay, because there was like the conversation from the community side was it's either you or Zontix, right? And that was what a lot of the conversation from the community perspective was,
or both.
Or both, yeah. Well, that was out there as well. But all right, let's pivot. And what we can do is, as we're talking about Spirit and as we're talking about Donk, we can ask Boris questions regarding exactly those things, because he'll have better knowledge than all of us. Okay, let's jump straight into that, because one of the keys with all of this is defining donk. And yesterday when I was on the plane on the way home, I knew we had this episode, so I was kind of just sitting there and writing down some notes about like my thoughts on all of this. So let me just read through some of what I'd written down. Right, so we've got this kid who's got the cabinet with the 3 most prestigious trophies. It's Katowice, a major, and Cologne in that order. And he's done that a year and a half into his career in Tier 1, which in itself is insane. And then on top of that, he was at MVP at all of them, right? So those are the 3 of the biggest trophies. There's obviously more that you can win, and like there's the Grand Slam and there's everything else along those lines, but those are the 3 of the absolute biggest, and he's MVP at all of them. Now, what is crazy is the peaks that he sets as a rifler, right? He's not an AWPer. He's not like, the zweih or the simple. He's not a hybrid. He's a rifler in the modern game. And the peaks, statistically speaking, and impact-wise, when you're watching, are some of the highest, if not the highest, that we have ever seen from an individual, right? Like, you talk about Astralis, you're talking about Team CS. You're talking about Spirit, you're talking about this kid who runs in and just kills everybody, right? It's fucking insane. And right now, from like the legacy perspective, I just touched on a couple of those things, right? He doesn't have a period of dominance or an era with a team or a Grand Slam or anything along those lines, but he's literally only 18 years of age and has only been on our screen for 1.5 years. And then you have the conversation at the moment where, okay, so great Counter-Strike players over the last 2 decades. You've got Forest, you got Neo, you got Simple, you got zweih, and then you've got donk, who is essentially like shattering all preconceived notions of what an elite level player's output can be. Like, I think like we've seen highs of players before, right? We've seen very good players before. Like Simple and zweih were the 2 that come into the conversation the most in the modern day. But again, donk isn't an AWPer. Like, he can AWP, but he's not an AWPer. He's rarely picking it up, so he's not a hybrid. He's a rifler. He's super aggressive, and the level that he's outputting from match to match is unmatched, right? Like, has there ever been a player...
Until you see Kelsuke playing.
Here we go. All right.
We have already.
Do you really think that? Do you think Kyosuke will be better than Donk?
Might be.
Might be. Well, he is obviously very good, right? Different circumstances. He's not getting off to the same start, but we won't blame him for that. I think we'll blame the rest of his teammates there. But right, Striker, I saw your tweet regarding Donk, and you were saying, that this is the highest peaks of a player. Is that? Yeah,
I mean, I don't think there's any. Nobody can question that. I think that is the greatest peak we have ever seen. Definitely from a retro, at least. I mean, you can kind of argue. I think the best year we've seen out of anybody so far would have probably been Simple in 2021. That was, I think, to this date, the best year anybody has had, and somehow we have two players going above that now, I think.
And we are going to get the third one as well.
Who's the third one?
Oh, Kyosuke.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Fair.
I thought so.
Chad forgot.
No. But I just want to make sure, like I said, is he going to be better than Donk? He said maybe, all right. But we gotta check in. We gotta make sure. It might be another guy, Prof. I don't know. The fact that we've had these two guys in 2 years is kind of crazy. But magixx, what the stuff that we've seen, like Donk doing officials, is it just like that all the time in practice as well, or is it like even crazier in practice?
Oh, it's pretty easy to describe because there's some players in the universe, let's say, from who you see an incredible highlight in practice like once a month, like crazy 1v5 or 5 one-taps 1v5, whatever. And the difference is that he is capable of doing it one time in 2 days.
Okay.
So basically,
consistency.
He's doing the same in the practice. He's just built different, I think.
Well, I sat down and did a podcast with Nico, ropz, and Donk, and I said, we're talking about practice, and I said, so who deathmatches? And Donk said, no, I don't deathmatch. And I was like, what do? You just play face? And he's like, yeah. And then I said, why don't you play FPL? I was like, well, it's serious. So he's just treating Facer as like a casual server. Remember, like 32-player casual servers back in the day? That's how he treats. That's how he treats like Facer. It's like I'll just kill everybody. So
I liked his answer there because he was like, on FPL people are tryharding, but they're bad. So I'd rather just have people that are bad. I mean, maybe they're not bad, but they're probably worse than people in FPL. But they're not acting as smart.
Sure.
They're not like, oh yeah, I know what to do. They're just doing their things, and Donk can do his own thing without people talking and telling him stuff, So I think that was funny, but also probably extremely true, especially with current state of FPL, where the best players are not playing it, right? So it's all the people that kind of want to prove to someone else that they're smart or good enough. And when you play Face It, it's just kind of whatever, I guess.
Is there things with Donk that we like? I guess the Russian audience would have a better insight because of all the vlogs and everything you guys put out, and there's subtitles and stuff for it too. But what is it that, because when people see Donk and he's not showing too much emotion, he did this time in Cologne when he won the trophy. But, what is it about him? Why doesn't he show emotion? Or does he show emotion? We just don't see it, on camera or when we're talking to him. Can you tell us a little bit about him?
I think he doesn't show a lot of emotions to camera, but he's pretty emotional, and he might be upset of some things going on. So, an example, if you're winning in a tournament but you play it poorly as a team, yeah, exactly, he might be upset because of that. Because if you're playing the same way, you're winning in tournament, playing not so good. Some people might be feeling great for that or satisfied or whatever, but you have to understand that if you're playing the same one against the better opposition, you're going to get fucked, and you have to do something with this because you just have to get better.
Can you explain something? So when we talked to him, I think he said the same thing on the stage. He referred to last year's Cologne and how you guys did there, just 2 losses straight out, right? So it was like the G2 game Mongols, at the end, I think, right? Was Mongols into G2 or the other way? I can't remember now.
G2 was second the game.
Yeah, there you go. And he said something like that he was about to give up at that point. Can you explain that?
I don't know what was going in the side of his head.
Fair enough.
Back then, I was just in Cologne doing my annual disaster class because every time I played in Cologne, it was my best tournament, with each year going being worse and worse than before, starting from 2021 and skipping one in 2023. But it was bad for me every single time, 3 times in a row.
Well, that one wasn't just you, to be fair.
I think, look, I don't know how much donk glazing we can do, because it feels like the story got a little bit, I don't want to say sidetracked. It didn't get sidetracked. I think it just got overshadowed because of the Vitality first 6 months of this year, which still, that hasn't gone anywhere just because Spirit had won this event and Donk's had another crazy performance. These things both exist at the same time. But when Donk came onto the screens with the Katowice win last year, he was already breaking records there. And, it was still quite raw in terms of the new game and everything along those lines. But he's kept up that type of performance, or at least the ability to hit those peaks, this entire time, essentially. And when he doesn't, it is tough for Spirit in certain games. Even the Nuke game against Na'Vi in the semi-final, right? In Nuke, you look at his stats, he still had a 1.2 rating or whatever, but it was 16 and 16 as far as kills and deaths, and he was having a hard time taking space outside, getting shut down, and the team doesn't win, right? Obviously, it's not just, okay, Donk just goes and kills everybody, and that's it, he's, spin botting, but there's macro behind it, there's all that behind it, but the peaks of this kid haven't gone anywhere. The question about him is, can he keep this up for a long time? Because he's already equaled Nico in terms of MVPs. That's right, yeah? I was reading that correctly?
That is right.
And Nico's been doing this for over 10 years now, and Donk's done it in a year and a half. So, magixx, do you think that Donk Strikes is the type of guy who'll get to the point where he's been playing for 3 years and he's yeah, I've won everything now, I'm done, and he'll move on to other things in life? Or is it just, it's like what you're saying? You're saying, yeah, you just grind Counter-Strike, and a day without Counter-Strike is sad. Is Donk that same type of guy? Is he going to be playing for as long as we can think of?
Oh, not sure. But I think he will not lose the motivation once he win everything in the Counter-Strike, because he know how difficult it can be sometimes, because we went through some tough times. An example, second half of 2024, and I think it made him much stronger as a person. So he will not give up in 3 years, I think, because an example, if we just went into 2024 winning Kato, winning the major, and then maybe winning Cologne or doing something in there, or just winning Kato and winning a major, he definitely could have lost motivation, because it's your first 4 months in tier 1 and you're just won the biggest everything. Why would you even try to play? But with the time going, we've seen some struggles as a team, and we went through it, and I think everyone got better.
All right, well, let's pivot into talking about Spirit's win overall, right? They didn't have to play Vitality. They got to take on MOUZ in the final. They had zweih playing, who was, he's only 17, and he goes into his first, I don't want to say it's his first big event, because he's played big events before, but his first event first arena of this type of a caliber. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation around Donk and his peaks and him needing to show up every game. Do you think Spirit can beat top teams in the world without Donk playing at this level, magixx?
At which level?
The level
1.50 rating? Or, yeah. So 1.30 rating.
Let's go 1.30. Yeah, that works.
If he's not passing 1.30, I think it's not going to be a convincing victory 2-0 over Vitality, because there was not so many occasions of him playing not A game, maybe B or even C game, and the rest stepping up. Oh, there was one. I remember that. Oh, I mean, there was few of them, but not so many, and it doesn't happen that often as often it should be happening in usual squads. because it is how it works. I don't know.
Do you think the way that, like, because if you have the biggest weapon in Counter-Strike, or the most impactful weapon in Counter-Strike, which is donk, do you think it makes sense that it should be structured to like make sure he's being fed everything, like give him all the AKs, make sure everyone's flashing for him, like everyone's jumping for him? Is that how it should be?
Personally, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because if you're having such a player as a donk or zweih, I think we can put both of them as an incredible individuals. They are going to play insanely good, even if you're not like bringing everything to them, not all the resources. They will just anyway, they will be performing super good because they are good. And there is like some tricky thing that I think should be working this way, is that you don't have to sacrifice other people to make your superstar shining, when you can have your superstar playing well, also allowing the rest to play well as well. So it's going to be a more balanced thing.
Okay.
Do you think that was happening in Spirit?
Not sure, but sometimes.
We were
Okay.
thinking, we were looking at this zweih addition, right? And we were saying that, you know, he's a more aggressive player compared to you. I know he plays some of the same positions, but in a very different way. We haven't necessarily seen that change. Do you think they should have maybe allowed him to take more, like, let's say, to replicate more how he used to play?
I think, yeah, if you're picking up a player from like the previous squad, you have to give him like the space and opportunities to play the same way, because it has been a thing for a long time before. Like last couple of years, it doesn't work this way as often as it was before, but like 4 years ago and before that, if the team was picking like an academy player or a young player into the squad, and he was posting like great numbers on tier 3 opposition or whatever, there were big guys picking up him into the team and putting him to play shittiest roles. An example, you're taking like the kid who is like destroying everyone on tier 3, tier 2, whatever. You're bringing him into the team with the guys who have been winning tournaments, and you're just putting him into the playing B side or whatever, because it doesn't hurt your system, but it hurts your player, and I feel like it's a bad thing in the long distance. Of course, there has been examples of players beating their pants, I guess, if they were brought from a lower ranked team to a higher ranked team, and they were given the roles they wanted and they preferred, and it didn't work pretty well. But overall, I think you should believe in the pieces you're picking up and use their strengths, like let them do whatever they're good in, and not forcing them to do whatever the system requires.
I guess you're a fan of how Falcons are using Kiyosuke then.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
There's
I mean, the bright example is also the Spirit Academy trio going into the main roster mid-summer 2023, with them saving up all of their spots and me and Chopper giving the space for them. And I think this is the like best possible way.
Talking about zweih, there's a slightly spicy question in chat. Maybe it's not a question, but I'll make it a question. Dude said, Neddy111 said Spirit would win even easier in Cologne if magixx was playing. zweih didn't do anything that magixx wouldn't, as far as I can see. I think this is honestly an opinion a lot of people have. Don't think it's like a crazy opinion, but do you agree? Do you think that the result would be the same if you were playing?
I have no idea. And I'm not sure if I would be able to post the 1 rating against MOUZ because I didn't do that year. But I don't think like I can answer this. I mean, it could have been yeah, I could have been not, but the only bad thing which is painful is not playing in Lanxess because it would have been goated, beating 2 teams with stand-ins or whatever to make the Lanxess is a great thing. But even worse thing than not playing in Lanxess is not playing at all. So, you know.
Yeah. Not
I mean,
fair.
sure. Just to add on this way thing, I do believe I have a feeling that like the way he played now is literally them being like, okay, just play. This is how Boris played. This is how you should play. Yeah. Because they don't want to change things too fast, and also to get a feeling of him as a player. But I hope at least that they will give him a bit more freedom to do more stuff, because like I was expecting, like, I don't know, if he plays A on Mirage, to play more like Flames than like, just sitting in the same spot the whole time, which seemed to be pretty much he's just under balcony every round, right?
I think this is the thing that comes up from a player, because you're not being forced to use some exact positions against any opposition. It's up to you where you want to play or how you want to counter what the enemy is going to do. So it's probably his decision, and I feel like they just have to play some more time for him to get used. I think we can also split it between CT side and T side, with I think CT side being great anyway, because he's playing similar positions to me besides Mirage, I guess. He's playing A side, I was playing B side, and it's not that difficult to play there, besides the moment where you have to play MP9 or the 5-7. So it's easy. But going into the T side is a bigger question, because it might be difficult sometimes.
It's just like when talking with zweih, and obviously he was doing it in English, so that's already a props to anybody who's going to speak in not their native language, especially on camera. But he did come across as quite shy, right? It was like, okay, yeah, he is young. Like I kind of got that vibe from him. So you would hope for Spirit's sake that he becomes more comfortable over time, which is, normally how these things go, right? But he did seem, I wouldn't say he felt out of place. He just felt like, yeah, this kid's green, like he's new. And that's what it was. But it's just weird, because this is a conversation that I would like to have, is what does this win mean? Because it doesn't reaffirm anything that we didn't already know, especially like from the Spirit angle. Like in the greater Counter-Strike angle, Vitality lost. MOUZ, I want to say, played badly in the final, because that's the least competitive series MOUZ have played against Spirit all year long. They had played, 4 other best of 3s this year, and all of those best of 3, not all of them, but 6 out of those 12 maps had overtimes, and all of them went 3 maps. So it was the least competitive series they'd played against Spirit all year, and it's unfortunate because we were saying that we thought that MOUZ were past having problems on the stage, and then they just go missing. So like, what does the win mean for Spirit or the greater Counter-Strike world? Like obviously for Spirit means a lot, lifting Cologne. So maybe I don't mean for Spirit, but this is for anybody. This is for Striker. This is for magixx. This is for Prof. What do you guys feel about this win? Like it's kind of weird because it wasn't over Vitality. If it was over Vitality, okay, now we got a conversation.
If it was any other year, we wouldn't necessarily care that Vitality weren't there or that they didn't beat Vitality on the way, because it's not like it was a weak run, right? So especially because they had to beat MOUZ twice on the way, so that's like number 2, let's say, twice to beat for the tournament win. I think in any other case where Vitality hasn't won everything in the first season, we wouldn't have even looked at this and questioned whether it's a legitimate win or whatever it is. So I think, from Spirit's side, I don't think they can be unhappy.
I'm not saying it's not a legitimate win. It's a legitimate win, but it doesn't feel, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to put my finger on it. I'm not. It feels.
Right.
It feels strange.
They didn't beat the big dog to get there, right? Which I understand. Like I've seen also a lot of people kind of put or point out, right? I think that's what makes it even weirder for me, because it just puts in context, especially seeing MOUZ before that semi and after that semi, effectively in all the other games. I didn't think there was a world where they could even challenge Vitality with how they looked before that, and then it just puts the disappearance from Vitality in so much context for me, to be honest, because it's like, I don't want to devalue the win because Xerxin played great, and we don't really see Xerxin having those sort of games on the stages, right? Usually. But it happened against the zweih that's probably played his worst series in his career.
It's his worst map of the year, at least,
Yeah.
right? And so we're keeping it just in modern
consecutive
context.
maps like that. I don't remember the last time I ever saw zweih put up 2 consecutive maps like that, especially on a stage. But it just doesn't happen. And then you add on to it, Flamesy also disappearing, of course, on the second map, and like the rest of the team, nobody from the rest of the team really stepped up other than ropz. Effectively,
yeah.
like he was the only one who turned up.
Maybe had some moments, but
Sure,
that
but
was
over the whole series, right? Like nobody really turned up other than ropz. And that is crazy to say about Vitality, who we've like put on this massive pedestal for having this insane depth, and then 4 of their players don't really appear in a semifinal. When they've won 37 or whatever it is series in a row up to that point. So it's just that's the weirdest part for me. It's like, what the fuck even happened? How is that even possible? Like, we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, is that the biggest story, Prof? Vitality losing as opposed to Spirit winning?
I mean, I want to focus still on Spirit. From
sure.
what you're trying to kind of get at. I agree. Like, it's at no point in the first part of the season did we say like there's no way Spirit win a tournament. Like, everyone was like always having them there as one of the possibilities to win, regardless.
We're
of
in the
like,
mix. Yeah,
regardless of how the last tournament went, or like some of the games in the group stage when they get to the playoffs is like, yeah, there's definitely a chance they win. It's a realistic chance. Obviously, there's favorites over time. It was always Vitality, and then maybe a Falcons or something, depending on the day or the part of the year. But it didn't really teach us anything new. I agree with that. Like, this was always a possibility. And donk played super well, and yeah, as you said, didn't really even get to beat the team, right? The team being Vitality, right? And that's kind of it. It doesn't shock us that they beat MOUZ in a grand final. It's like, okay, yeah, that does happen. Yeah, sometimes they lost to them, but usually it was a pretty good matchup. So all in all, didn't really learn anything new. I think it is more about like, how will the rest of the year pan out in terms of like, will Vitality have more games like this? Because they had some games where, they didn't show up maybe on one map, or like zweih didn't really show up, and then they'd somehow still be in the 3rd map or the 5th map and turn it around. So how does this affect like the aura of Vitality that they had in the first part of the season, that they're fucking invincible, right? That they'll just win regardless of everything. So I think that's where the second part of the year kind of develops.
Sure. magixx, do you think it matters that they didn't beat Vitality but still won the event? Does it matter from a player perspective, like who you beat to lift the trophy?
I think it depends on the person, like, because different person wants to, like, some people can say you can only beat who is in front of you. The others can say that you have to beat truly the best teams, like, to make it like the real and not a fluke run. So, but I think, anyways, MOUZ is a top 2 team in the world, and they've been playing great, and they were pretty not a comfortable opponent for Spirit the first half a year. So this victory is pretty convincing, and I think we should never consider it as a fluke.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think it was getting painted with the fluke brush, and you bang on, right? The tough time with MOUZ throughout the year, and the fact that it was a dominant victory, that all definitely plays into this. It is still crazy as well to think about the fact that we had this period of dominance from Vitality, but in the last year and a half, we still had Spirit win Katowice, the major, or a major, and Cologne, right? So, it's showing that there are teams that can be very competitive in the game at the moment, even though Vitality won 7 consecutive trophies. But let's jump into Vitality now, because we'll still continue to talk about Spirit more when we bring up MOUZ a little bit later. But this one right here was it was a weird result, right? Because I was casting that game against MOUZ, and Exertion and Torji were doing exactly what they had to do, playing at their top level to beat Vitality. But and this is where I don't want to dismiss the win, because they were doing everything right to get the victory. It felt like Vitality, though, they weren't they weren't themselves, right? This is a team that went 6-0 for maps in groups, right? They went straight through. They beat Mongols on the run, straight to the semis. They're on a 37 best of 3, best of 5 streak. They did an early flex on Overpass to show that it's in their map pool. And, you know, they end up losing one series. It doesn't take anything away from the legacy or era or any of those conversations that you want to have about Vitality right now. For the year, they're 41-3 in terms of matches. So the best of 1, they lost it to Legacy.
So dumb still.
Right? Best of 3 early, they lost it to Eternal Fire in the studio at Bounty. I think it was the quarterfinal. And then they had a best of 3 loss to MOUZ in an arena. This is a team that they had beaten 7 times earlier in the year, but they get 0-2'd. So it was what the biggest blowout loss, like the Legacy one, we'll forget about. It's best of 1. zweih had his worst map of the year. They felt like they were disconnected from each other within mid-round moves. Like they would just be pushing through smokes when it didn't really feel like it made sense. They got bailed out by
one, man. Like that one just stands out in my mind on Train. Like it was towards the end of Train, right? Like where he just like pushes out of a smoke randomly without too much support or anything like that. I was looking at that and I'm like, how is this the same Vitality we just seen for dominate everybody half of the year? You know, especially when it's zweih. Like it's very. I think I said something like, "What the fuck is zweih doing?" And I was just catching myself thinking, when's the last time I said that about zweih in a negative connotation? Or like for a long time, you know? And that, I don't know. It was just so weird. I just can't explain it really.
So
I feel like there's a lot of pressure being applied to Vitality. If you're saying about 35, 33, 30, whatever win streak, but we should also understand that they just came out of a player break. Of course, they won the group 6-0, pretty convincing. But anyway, it's the first tournament after the break. And after such a long breaks, the team have to play a couple of tournaments, and you don't have to win at all because you may not be in your best shape. So I think it was just an unlucky day or whatever, and they're still capable of like dominating everything, because like even before when ropz just joined, they lost also best of 3 to EF, and after that what happened, everyone knows what happened. And we should just understand that it's like a matter of time until they're going back into the next tournament and like readier than before, because once you're out from a break, we have all seen Liquid after the players break in 2019, and they were completely cooked, maybe. So we will see like better results from Vitality like during the second half of the year.
magixx biggest player break hater. Can't wait for next year for like tournaments to just go from January 1st to December 31st nonstop. That's gonna be your era for sure.
We will be there.
Yes.
No matter what.
No, I mean the Vitality score is like also like going through the VOD a bit before this. Mirage was 5-0, then like they lose one round, they bounce back. There was like a few ropz round that they absolutely should not have any chance winning. So they still end the half like fucking 8-4. They were like so in the lead. It looked Jover. It looked like just another, you know, MOUZ Vitality game, which makes it even crazier in hindsight that they managed to lose it. Like it was so easy. Usually you'd expect the game to have to be like a good start for MOUZ for them to like finally get this victory. And it was on Train, obviously, but the Mirage game was like full clawback from situations and rounds where it looked like they had no chance. And I mean, thinking about this a lot, I just think MOUZ are a really good team with really good players, but not extremely good players. And usually what happens in these games is, you know, you have a zweih playing to his standard or like a B game even, and that is enough to be better than whatever MOUZ can put up. And I think people think of like Exertion and Torji as like inconsistent maybe, but I think the reality is they just play against better players, and most of the times they will be worse than them, because like CS, you don't play CS against a clock, or you're not running, so you will be losing duels because the other guy is just so much better. And that can look like inconsistency, but the reality is that's just the level that you have, right?
You might say they were the second best team of last season.
Yeah, but that's why they are consistent, right? That is consistency.
I think we should not be using like words of calling MOUZ. Like it happened, like calling MOUZ with as a team with no superstar players, because you don't really have to have like insanely hyped up superstar who is getting millions of views in TikTok, YouTube, to have great players play their roles, because we have also seen it with Navi last year. Everyone can say that it was a team with no star players, but I think if you try to look into it, you see some great role players and the way they are playing as a team. And also talking about MOUZ, it's pretty easy to find the star players. An example, we can call the Spinks as a star player because he's insanely decent and he made a huge difference to them after being picked up in the beginning of the year. And he's always been pretty consistent and like great. Maybe he had some like rough times, like during Vitality, like towards the end when something was wrong with them. But overall, he made that difference to lift them up even better, so they have a super great, consistent results.
Well, I think when we're building on that, the thing with this MOUZ roster that was impressive for me in that semi-final match was, I already mentioned Exertion and Torji playing well, but it was Spinks having a tough time, but then still getting back into the game, right? And like if you're MOUZ and you've lost to the same team 7 times in a row, you heard the comps. We weren't listening in a lot, but we listened in a little bit. We had a couple, and they, even though when they were losing, they still felt quite like jovial and I wouldn't say calm, but they didn't sound stressed, right? They didn't sound like because they had been here plenty of times before, and the outcome was always the same.
I mean, there was still like one moment where you could tell that Apex was getting kind of up in their faces, right? Which is, I mean, it is something that we see constantly at events, even when like during this round of dominance, right? We always saw. So it's not necessarily out of the ordinary, but there was a couple of moments where you could tell that it was getting to them a bit.
Oh yeah, well, understandably so, because they weren't playing, like Vitality wasn't really playing as a team. It didn't feel like, right? So, but it went both ways throughout that, and I think that result itself was the most shocking. It's probably obviously the biggest headline, because the expectation was Vitality would be in the grand final, let alone not winning the whole thing. So, I think this whole coming out of the player break thing does have an impact, in terms of teams being focused, but at the same time, when you're Vitality and you could have won, and I understand there's still 3 trophies, or were still 3 trophies away from lifting 2 Grand Slams within a year. But, your goal setting, I feel like when you're already at that point kind of shifts, but it just felt like they couldn't get themselves out of first gear, because like when Apex pushes Ivy in that 2v5 situation on Train after ZywOo finally gets a multi-kill, right? He spams down 3, they're on the force by towards Ivy. It's like, okay, great. Like ZywOo, finally. And then Apex goes and pushes, and I could see it happening in that moment. I'm like, why is he swinging's fine? Swinging on your own and overextending and giving away an M4 like that, not so fine. And it felt like he was trying to artificially manufacture confidence for the team. It's like, boys, we can just run at them. Like, we're just better than them. We can just shoot them. And those occasions came back to really cost them in that game, when it felt like maybe they should have lent on fundamentals a little bit more. But hey, I wanted to end this because Boris has already answered it, and I want to see what you guys think. Do you guys think this was just an off day, or is this the end of Vitality's domination?
No, I agree with magixx. I think they're going to go back to what we are used to from them. Maybe this will be like, it's not necessarily that they will think that this alters how they should play or anything like that. I think they will also see it as a big off day. I think it's more about others saying that it is possible. And that's, kind of breaking this aura around Vitality that they were invincible. That's obviously, kind of reminiscent of early NIP, where they would come back from stupid situations, from like 5-15 against Virtus.pro on a Train game that I remember, to this day, just because it was like the moment where NIP should have fallen. They didn't. And then that just adds to the aura, adds to the invincibility, right? And so now there's blood in the water, and I think people can see that, you know, it is possible for Vitality to lose finally. And that's the biggest part that, you know, will change, I think, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't look too disappointed by the loss. I don't think so, which is like a good sign. I think they knew it kind of had to end at some point, and it ended now. You know, Flames had an extremely shit game, and he is also a very important piece. There's also the little stats that dude on Twitter puts smart backwards puts out as like his, like, which players have the most impact on teams winning, and Flames is super high there. So doesn't really shock me that if he's going 119 that they're not winning a map, right? Not winning their map pick. So yeah, I think they're just shrugging it off and being like, whatever, let's.
So it's not because they replaced Amy. Is that what you're saying, Pro?
Well, you know, the streak speaks for itself, let's say.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Well, I mean, this is how they started last season. Actually, I don't know if it was top 8 or top 4 at Bounty, you know, and then they won everything else. So maybe this is the repeat.
Well, they have to play Bounty on Friday, so we'll get to see them again in the server pretty soon. It's not going to take too long to get that underway. All right. Well, we kind of did talk on and off about MOUZ throughout this conversation.
I have a question for Boris. And that's how I want to frame it about MOUZ, because you said, you know, you had some tough games against them, and they're a team that, you know, everyone respects, but most people are not super hyped about. But what do you think makes them good? Like in the game when you're playing against them, what is it that makes it difficult to play against them?
I think this is a kind of team which is pretty well-rounded in terms of raw skill of the players and the structure around them, because I feel like the Cyclone being a key piece in making their system to be working, like an example Blade or Paladin Spirit, whereas the coach is the main thing in the squad. And basically they also have like 5 players which are capable of hitting top 20, which is an indicator of them being pretty good individually. So if we are adding it to each other, we are getting a pretty good roster with not so many weaknesses. Like maybe not that high of a peak, I assume, but pretty good floor and I guess consistency.
So would you say, like, when you go in a game against MOUZ, you don't really know, are they harder to prepare for compared to like some other teams that have like more obvious, you know, strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, depends on the team.
Yeah. Well, let's say for you guys, when you would go and play against Spirit, was the prep significantly? Oh yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, when Spirit would play MOUZ, would the prep be significantly different to playing, I don't know, a Vitality, for example?
Oh, if we are comparing Vitality to MOUZ, I feel like that MOUZ is a more of a structures team, while Vitality has always been a team who is actually relying on a aiming skill, whatever, and I feel like it has been happening like ever since 2022 or so. There's not so many like super custom weird ideas going on, but the skill is always there because you have zweih, who is bringing at least a few rounds into the team by being him in there. So yeah.
Okay. All right. I look at the way forward for this team, and I think that this final like loss, I feel like it's going to do a lot of damage to them. Like I think just the fact that it's not just Vitality, you know, like I know that they've lost to other teams before at other points in tournaments, but to make it to the final and it's like, well, this time it wasn't Vitality and we didn't win.
It depends. I think it depends on how they will think on it, because, you know, not every day you're playing a grand final and being destroyed so easily, like it happened a couple of days ago. I think we have been in the same situation as they were back in Kato this year when we played semi-final game against Navi, and the next day we played against Vitality in the finals. And the main thing that I understand, and probably it might be applied to Spirit back then or MOUZ this time, is that they have probably. We should also consider that they have been playing the second semi-final, which you're finishing at 2020, like 10 p.m. or so. Then you're going back to hotel. You can't go to sleep because you're
still
riding the
feeling
high.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
still too high to
Yeah,
get.
and if you have been playing the first semi-final of the day, it's much easier because you're like winning the game, an example, and then you're finishing like at 5 p.m. or so, and you have plenty of time to prepare this evening or sometime for tomorrow morning, and you can go to sleep pretty easily. So this is what happened to us, I think, in Kato, that we have played against Navi like we played the final, which was the most important match of the tournament, because no one knew that Vitality is goated. So
True.
Navi, playing against Navi in the semifinals, was a big game for us, which we have used a lot of emotional resources or so, whatever you call it, and it was the second game of the day. And after this, we were just not ready to playing the final. And I feel like the same thing happened to MOUZ, because they played against Vitality and they're incredibly motivated to win against Vitality, which were winning 7 games in a row before this semifinal. They want to give it all to this exact match, and probably they just run out of energy for next day. Maybe it doesn't work this way, but it probably be like this because they also played the second semifinal.
Okay. All right. Well, a lot of food for thought there. One thing we have to do right now, because we're over an hour into the show, is going to throw to a quick ad break. So, Lucas, get us there. We'll come back. We'll talk about the new updates, and then we'll move on from there.
Sell in-game items at the best prices in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. Skin Place. Sell items now.
When every move counts, your chair shouldn't hold you back. Top esports players are switching to Anthros for unbeatable support and performance that keeps them in the game longer. Designed to support your unique shape and built with medical-grade components, Anthros is setting a new standard for comfort. Check out the Anthros difference today and get ready to fix your sit, because gaming deserves more than just a chair.
I was getting a quick snack. It was a good snack. Prof, you were saying the chair is so good. Are you an Anthros shill?
Bring it back. Bring back Chad's chair. You can see.
You mean Striker's chair?
Striker's chair. Yeah.
There you go.
It's actually so good. It's my second time sitting on her.
On her. You named her. You named her. Okay.
Yeah. Don't have a name. Just know it's a she so far.
Fair enough. All right.
But it's since I put it together and then I left, and now I came back after a few months, and it's so comfy. Also been obviously at events a lot of standing, and my lower back hates standing. So that was pretty rough. And then not last night. Was it last night? What day is it today?
Today's Tuesday.
Well, okay. So Sunday night, last day, always a lot of socializing. Not always, but if possible. I set out the goal to make some, I want to say new friends, but to get to know some new people, which means sometimes you end up standing for a few hours in this conversation, because you never know, is this going to be a 10-minute conversation or maybe a 3-hour conversation? And it ended up being the second, which also put even more strain on my lower back. So now sitting on this Anthros chair is really amazing. I feel so good. That's what I'm gonna say.
I was gonna say like,
Hashtag ad.
we should make this a thing because it's been like 3 shows in a row where I'm just coming in like 30 seconds too late, and this is the perfect ad break.
Yeah,
There we go.
All right. Well, Boris is back. Strike is back. Let's get into the new updates, which was happening throughout Cologne. So, first one I want to talk about and just get your opinion on this, Boris, because I love hearing what the players have to say about this stuff. And it's maybe a little bit harder to get an understanding of the economy in the face it pug realms, but the buff to the team kill reward for the CTs, are you liking that change?
This change is actually goated.
Okay.
Like, if you're being real. And you can also feel it in face it. An example, before this update, even if you're starting on the city side, you're buying an armor and you're not getting a single kill during the pistol round and dying, you cannot afford yourself an M4. But with this update, even if you are dying and being carried by someone and everyone is dead from the enemy, you can buy an M4 with first armor, and it's so good. It's like, it's a big difference. And I feel like even in competitive play, it's going to make a big difference because you can afford more stuff. And I mean, if I would have been playing at that time, I feel like I would have played less MP9, I guess.
I mean, yeah. Also been nerfed, so maybe not worth it anymore.
Yeah.
Now I
This
have
is a
excuse
truth, yeah.
like I need to buy an M4, guys. I can't play with MP9. It's shit.
Yeah. And
More
maybe
people
I
are
would have been
buying
better.
the MP7. Yeah, well, it is kind of shit, right? As like the player in the supportive areas, you're always having to buy a fucking MP9. You're the last person getting dropped. You and Chopper, the last one's getting dropped an M4 in all the positions you play. So, like, there's definitely in the early stages, it's nice. There's still the hard reset of the 1400, but I say that I think if you take a look at, I'm just grabbing it right now. I'll put it in TeamSpeak. Maybe even Lucas can bring it up. So I combined the stats for stage 1 and group stage / playoffs. And what do we, I have to look at it compared to other tournaments, but 6 out of the 7 maps were CT sided.
Yeah, obviously overpass replacing Anubis that's gonna fix itself. That's automatically just gonna become 1. But the only one that's T-sided now is Inferno.
It was Inferno there. Yeah.
And even Dust 2 significantly CT-sided. How much was it played? 15 maps. That's a decent sample size, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of what, when we were talking about it, Chad, is like, it's not a big change, but it is more money, and more money equals more wins of rounds, like for the CT side. That's just how it is. So it would surely make a difference. I'm not sure if this is going to be consistently on this level, because this is like a plus 5% across the board, which I think
seems high.
That seems high for what it was, like one half by more per half, essentially. But
I mean, that's basically, I mean, roundabout it equals to like an extra CT round per half, right? Or maybe a bit less, like half to a full round of extra per half, right? So
well, that makes sense, right? Like, I think that this is a good change because the CT side economy was always quite stressed. Okay, let's get into the more recent changes, shall we? So the map changes, we didn't get to talk about it during the live show the other day. What's up, Lucas? Oh, the assets. Okay, yeah. We can just whack those up as we're going. But obviously there was some light changes to Overpass. And when I say light, I don't mean like the lighting. I just mean like there was some changes they made that were quite small. Inferno had some that are a little bit more notable. And then the biggest ones, of course, were Train. Have you played much Train in Face It, Boris? Is it coming through in the vetoes?
I haven't played a single Train, but I've seen it like during the some matches, I guess. Like an example, Liquid match, which was 1 hour ago, and something else. And obviously, I cannot speak in terms of Inferno. I'm clueless on this map. I have no idea what happened. On Overpass, I think they just removed the water, yeah?
The water was gone, like, that was when they first removed it from the pool. Oh. But when they did the updates more recently, the stuff that they changed was like the truck on the A site before, the gap where you could stand with like the wall and the angle of the truck was quite deep. Now they made a shallow angle so the T's can clear it easier. Like the changes are very, very small changes.
I also remember I was playing the Face It yesterday or 2 days ago, and I was playing overpass, and I found out that I can spot long, like in the small gap between the track and the boxes where you're planting the bomb, like in between of them, there is a small gap which was not there before, and I think the overpass changes are not doing like much of a difference, but what I've seen on the train, it actually looks cool. I mean, there's still no like certain knowledge or opinion. Is it a T-sided or a CT-sided map? I feel like it is more of a thing which is coming out from the playstyle of a team and how they are matching each other, comparing like two squads playing it. So I feel like actually it's gonna make the map a little bit more of CT-sided.
Yeah, I think like at the moment, you know, when I'm casting the games, I tend to say like the standard round distribution is probably 8-4, right? And obviously that's because of pistol round, because if you win the pistol on the T side and you win the force, you only need to win one gun round. So like 9-3-8-4 seems pretty okay. Lucas, bring those up again with the train ones if you can at the end there. I want to talk about some of the train stuff because that's the biggest changes. So this one right here feels maybe the most unnecessary for me because it felt like the CTs already had a lot of, I don't want to call it advantages, but they were already quite aggressive in this area anyway. So it didn't feel like they needed more cover. So this one here, I'm not sure about, but I know if you stand on that box, according to Bit, even if you stood on the railing, you could see all the way to T stairs where the T's run up and down. In this box, you get an even better sight line. This one here, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one. This one I think is the most unnecessary of all of them. Go next one, Lucas, if you could, for train. So this one here makes sense, I think, more for late round. And it also might help with some verticality because you'll have a place where you can jump up early round, right? If you jump on those boxes, you can see over the sandwich smoke. That's early. And then late, once all the utility starts to fade, for the CTs who are blocking main and pop, etc., normally it's like, okay, well, where do I stand? Bomb train's going to get mollied.
Angle hood, yeah, T's have to worry about, right?
Yeah.
This box is goated, guys.
You like this one?
I think this is insanely decent because if you're an Ivy player and pretty much most of the Ivy players are starting early round with trying to block team mid, either from like hell, I guess it's called, right side like of the yellow train, or left side the yellow train. You're sometimes being countered by some, like usually it happens you're just running out and trying to shoot through the smoke to get something, and this box might allow you to survive even more, I guess, because there are some people on the scene who are countering these Ivy players doing for a peaks, which is considered to counter mid aggression early.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this gives more options for that. Go next one if you can, Lucas. So this one here makes sense as well, but
for audio listeners, this is
I forgot about those
the box in front of Z on the B side.
The thing that I think is actually more interesting about this specific change is that little gap where the T's could get into below where that box is now is gone. So now it's just stairs, right? Okay. So that box is good because, okay, you have a bit more cover to work with as a CT rotating in, and it blocks some sight lines deep into CT spawn, which is good. But most teams, when they execute, they're throwing a Molotov here. They molly this position and they do the deep connector smoke. So like you can't push out through the Molotov without losing HP anyway. So it's only good like after the initial wave of utility has faded. So this one here, and I also don't like the fact that there's a gap on the left-hand side of the box. I don't understand why that, because I don't get why that's necessary. But this one here, I think is, I understand why they did this, but this one I think needs work. What do you make of this one, magixx?
I feel like this one is actually, yeah, I see it now. I feel like this one is great. As you said, during the like actual execs might be difficult, but it also gives you some space to escape to the like left to jump out from the Z. And
True,
it give you some cover. And also, if I'm not wrong, there was an OP spot for T sides once they're close to the, like right under the boxes. This position was super powerful always, I guess, to block or kill CTs going out, and you can't like really clear it when you're going there, because if you're trying to do a wide swing to clear it, you might be killed from lower ramp, or if you're trying to like jiggle it somehow, you're being wrecked because the angle is so powerful for T. And I feel like this box is also like it's giving a pretty big advantage for the CTs because they have some more space. And I also, when I was like, sometimes I was a player who is rotating towards B, I felt kind of uncomfortable from playing such angles because I felt like, an example, I was close to Z and holding lower, like an example with an up, and it felt like not super covered and not super safe compared to the other positions or comparing to the like alt train, because like if you stand like on the top of something, you're being exposed to upper like hallway.
Yep.
If you're standing somewhere else, you're like behind where the stairs are, you're making a shot, making one step back to the left of the red train, you're also again exposed to the red train. And I feel like there's a big difference between old and new train, and some people need to get used to it.
Yeah, what I'm going to do right now, Lucas, because we can actually, let me just get this going right now. I'm trying to set up myself in a server so we can take a look at some of these things. I think I can share my screen, I guess. Give me 1 second, everybody playing
I can
at home.
just Phil, until you do. I feel like these changes weren't even to like fix anything CTT sided, just to make it. I feel like these are almost just like playability updates, because like some of the parts of the map just felt like, what am I going to be doing here? It's like you're rotating out of Z onto B, like everything you explained just felt like shit. It's not like, oh, we need to buff CT side. Not really, but it's just feels very awkward to be in that position. It doesn't feel good for even casual players probably. And also the box next to yellow is like, that whole area just felt like a field. It's just fully open. You're rotating in. There's nowhere to hide or do anything to. So I feel like a lot of these things is just Valve looking at like matchmaking heat maps and being like, well, there's this whole area here that no one is doing anything in. So we need to put, let's just get 10 boxes and put it across the whole map, which is kind of a funny update, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the one on A site, I think, is the biggest one that is probably in that direction, because whenever you have an execute come in on A, right? I mean, you're effectively either stuck behind site where you're going to get mollied off, or under the old heaven where you can also get mollied off, and then you basically cannot stand anywhere. You're going to be stuck behind a smoke in Z, or stuck behind a smoke in Ivy, or you can be in the cubby under new heaven, let's say you want to say, or whatever, whichever heaven, the other heaven. Like that's where you can stand. And you're going to be smoke off there, or an op is going to hold that angle. And you basically, as a CT, don't have anywhere else to play unless you're forward, right? If you're playing back site or whatever, you're going to have to be stuck behind smokes until the plant comes in and you can start the retake, right? So that one I really like from that angle, where like if you're playing Ivy and you have the smoke in front of you, you can maybe smoke in front of yourself, use that little box, jump on top of it, make life a little bit harder for Twistzz to get the bomb down, and some of these angles that like previously that don't exist, So it's that one I like for sure. The rest is still like I have to make an opinion about, because I haven't played it. I haven't even looked into it. Like this happened mid Cologne, right? So
yeah, that's
I
the
also
thing, right?
feel like that there's the thing with the new maps. I think we can call the train, this like iteration of train, as a new map. We count Anubis into it, we count train, and what else we have new is probably Ancient. It was the newest map of them all, yeah?
Anubis, yeah.
Yeah, but okay, on Ancient and
Train's completely different.
People know how to do it, okay. But an example with Anubis and Train being introduced a few months ago, the difference is these are kind of the maps where the T's are favorite if they are doing a heavy exec by the end of the round when the CTs are kind of out of util. An example, everyone knows how Anubis was played. You can just do a little to nothing stuff on a map, and then you can just do a complete B exec or complete A exec, and it's going to bring you around because there is no place for CTs to stand and like to fight you going out. And the A side of train was super difficult to defend when you were playing like on CT side, because you're throwing like 2 smokes and a mola backside, and you're out on the bomb side, and you don't have a space to fight T's unless you're like fighting them close before you're like affected by that util they thrown. And I feel like this like box will add like an extra position if you're not fighting them close, which T's have to molly, because they could have just used 2 mollies for the backside and for the hell, but now they should be also clearing this position. And also this one you can also support your players fighting close teammate. If you are standing there, you can just kill teammate like with them together and not let T's to make the proper execute. And I feel like this one is a great change, because like the A side itself was not balanced at all.
Yeah, I was looking at this Ivy change though, Boris. What do you make of this, right? Because before the AWP could get back here and they could see this line. Now it's like, it's so tight now, right? Like it feels like people are going to be able to put a lot more pressure on Ivy because of this change.
I feel like this one is cool because it was it was really not comfortable to walk through Ivy, knowing there is usually an AWPer playing there. And, you know, when the trend was firstly introduced, it like 9 out of 10 top teams, they were playing with the AWPer being like always on Ivy, and the rifles playing on a teammate or a pop dog. So I feel like this change is cool. It looks good. Not sure, we have to try it, but you have some more space as an Ivy player to walk closer, and the gap itself is different now. You only have a gap on the left side, which you can use with a smoke. Of course, there was some options which were OP. I feel like there's still some combinations of smokes, an example, which can be goated and use it super like effectively for the T's, but we'll see. And could you please go towards the B in front of a Z stairs? I've seen you crossing there, and this is looking insanely good. Yeah, where you are pointing, there was an OP position before. Can you stand like in front of the boxes? How does it look like?
In front of this? Like
this, yeah. Like, is there a gap to the right side of the box?
There's a gap here.
If you're from the other side,
my God.
Wow. If you're a T like standing behind of the box, how does it look like?
Oh, this way?
Yeah, like this. How are you?
That's pretty, like, it feels all right. Like, I guess the problem is I think this would be...
Oh, you what?
Yeah, that's pretty dirty. But I wonder how much you spotted.
You should be spotted. Yeah. There's definitely your hand being seen from this angle. But it feels like this is easier for cities to clear or to go through than it was
because before it was like this, right? And you also had to worry about this as well.
Yeah, exactly. It was super difficult to cross.
But they also extended this, right? So this is something that I think is pretty interesting, is this box has been added. So now if you're CT rotating in, you don't have to worry about the AWPer or even like the AK just getting here and being able to see like all the way back, right? Obviously, there's things that you can do.
Oh, this is...
For viewers, not viewers.
This is not cool.
You don't like this?
I've always been rotating. Like, I'm an Ivy player. I'm sometimes like standing close to teammate, and I was always rotating from the city spawn going into this exact area to kill the players who are trying to push through the oil. And now I won't be just killing them in the back like I used to do, because no one is going to Z to rotate to B because you're being owned there. But at this point, we might go to Z.
So this is, Prof was saying this is high ramp. This is a new box that's been added so that you can't see the oil train. And this platform got extended out as well, because before this was multiple tiered. But players will still play here. As long as, this is the thing that I think is banging with what Boris said. I will get this fucking wrong, this Molly. But I think it's like here.
Wow, you're so bad, Chad.
Sorry,
Crazy.
man. There it is. There we go. Look, I didn't fuck it up. I was watching the Furia execute today, right? The thing is,
Does
it's
it
slightly
press
different.
like all the way?
I don't think it goes to the end. I don't think it goes to the very end here.
Oh, it's fleshed out anyway, I think.
So yeah.
Or cleared out easily.
But I was watching the Furia execute today, and it was on the old train, and they would molly Z like this, but now the box is there, it bounces off, so you have to more to the left, and because it was
going to be harder
on
to smoke molly.
I
As you were
think
saying
I
before,
think it should be fine because Fallen
I
does that.
think it doesn't
Okay.
make any difference. Like you're just moving like a little bit of left
Go
and
here.
moving your crosshair like or like this. Yeah,
There you go. Okay.
I think.
Nope.
You'll be able to play with it though, right? Because if
I
they come
think,
here,
I
it'll
think
work.
it's not
I'm
an
sure,
issue.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, but overall, that's like this is the main changes. The stuff on Inferno, we can go to Inferno. We can just quickly show it. I know that you used to play at Boris. I remember watching you when you were in Spirit before, and you guys would always do like you would get a shotgun and you get boosted on the flower pot thing, like close left hand side and middle. I'm pretty sure it was you.
Oh.
So I think when SDY was in the team as well.
I don't get the balcony on the change because it used to be.
This one.
So it kind of used to be like there used to be a railing like on the outside of it, right? Not the way that it is now, but it
was
used to be
here?
like on the edge.
Yeah, it was there, but then this was up against the wall here. Like, so you could just run straight through this, right? Like that
No,
wasn't
but I
there.
mean, even like old Inferno, like in CS:GO, there used to be a railing and then they removed it. No, or am I crazy?
Yeah, it was there.
Like you
What's
used
this
to,
map, guys?
like where let's say, I mean, it used to look a little bit different, but let's say the railing would be on the edge of the roof instead of the edge of the balcony. You know,
Well,
beforehand.
this was slightly different as well.
Yeah,
like
like,
the way
it would be like a
was all
balcony.
different.
It would be like a balcony, and then you would have the railing on the edge of that instead of where it is now. But they kind of reintroduced this railing, even though before they removed it. I think because to make it a bit easier for Twistzz to pass into pit without having to jump so high. You know.
Well,
So
now
it's
the
curious.
T-sided map, right? You can stop the apps pops a little bit easier because it's going to be more cumbersome movement, I guess,
Yeah.
and it's less freedom of movement too. So you're going to have to be able to like jump out over it, and the flashes better be good. They removed like there was curbs that were along here that they got rid of, which, excuse me, I think by doing that it just makes everything feel wider. And then in Banana, they changed like color palette things. Like this is a lighter shade of orange, which makes players stand out a bit more. They got rid of, I think there was like a flower pot on the top here or something. They changed some of those type of details.
Okay, this is the best update happened to CS2. They changed the colors of the walls.
There you go. But they changed first oranges. This used to be you could only jump up here before, and now you can jump up all of this, right? So now it's like you can come up, and I guess you have better angles to
better
fight.
cover. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they did was they opened up these so that I saw something on, is it like that?
How much? I haven't really looked at the
Yeah.
nades, but how
Wow,
much can
this
you
one is
actually
cool.
molly from here? Like, can you actually molly from there to behind triple or behind like in dark?
I haven't tried.
I'm sure you can if you
That's
try.
that's the
hard
thing. Like
enough.
it feels like the angles are a bit rough. I'm sure people
No,
will
I
figure it out
think
in some way.
yeah, I
but-
think it's it's pretty easy to find.
So like that should make it easier. I guess if you're playing retake B as well. I'm not going to try.
Like I was
I'll
curious
fuck it
about
up.
how much. Yeah, no, like don't try it now. But I'm just curious if people have found it already because I haven't really caught up on like what the new nades are.
Chad,
these-
someone just called you a lineup Larry.
Yeah, I'm all utility. But yeah, these are the only real Inferno changes, and the overpass stuff is negligible, right? So yeah, there's just some curbs change.
But there's
and some
also, I
visual
mean,
things.
the entrance from ruins, right? If you
Oh
go there,
yeah,
how
you're
much-
right. It's wider
How
now.
much of a difference does that make? Because it's a bit wider, right, in one place.
Oh,
It was
and then
more
there's, like,
cumbersome
more of a corner.
before.
So there's
yeah.
more of a corner now, right?
I think there was like more of a flower bed type thing here before.
you
so
need to
now it's
jump up there, no?
yeah. And now it's just this will make it easier for these fights for people coming in for sure.
And it's a
'Cause
bit wider on the outs, like on the
Yeah.
outside as well. I think.
So I think that feels like more of like a quality of life change. Before it was just too busy, too clunky.
Am I
think,
crazy,
so.
or is this like left corner deeper than it was before? Like this one?
I think it might look deeper.
No. I don't mean that one. I mean the one that of the wall that sticks out from the ruins. No, on
Yeah.
the right. Yeah, there we go.
No, this was like this.
The other
This
side,
was-
but yeah,
this
I don't-
side?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was like deeper or not.
That I'm not certain.
Okay.
I'm not an Inferno player either. I'm just like Boris.
Yeah,
so.
well, good. I'm also just kind of spitballing at this point because I haven't really given this a lot of thought at the moment.
All right, go off my screen, Lucas, because I need to. Oh wait, hold up. Are you still on my screen? The drop nades are bigger. I can't show you I can't show
Yeah, I
you
see that.
comparatively, but
That's pretty cool.
they
We're
are bigger.
back to
They're fucking
1.6.
huge, actually.
Yeah, that
they
nade
look
look-
like.
Huge.
But it's
Yeah.
good.
The
I mean,
perfect
that's
world
good.
plushies. That's how they look like.
Yeah,
It's really good.
All right, sorry, Lucas. You can get off it now, and then I can alt tab and okay, thank you. Okay, so sorry to our audio only listeners. That was less than ideal.
Impromptu.
Yeah, but that was a good way to show things. Yeah, okay. So those are the map changes. The new animations. Who cares about the animations? Do you care about the animations, Boris?
They're bad.
Okay, tell me why.
I mean, like I played like 2 days only, and the animations of weapons, or some of them, they're pretty cool. An example, pistols, like P50 or Glock, they're being like taken out pretty cool, and like the use preload is also cool, I feel like, but the way they have broken the knives inspect or butterfly when you're taking it out, it's super painful and it doesn't look good. I hope they're going to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully some quality of life upgrades with the visual. I think we'll get more. Like I would imagine. I felt like last week they updated every night. Obviously not on the weekend. Valve don't work on weekends. Let's not be crazy. But I imagine they'll just start updating again tonight. So we'll just see. We'll see what happens. See if the updates keep on coming. But otherwise, like people were talking about the ragdolls, Boris. Like they're more like CS:GO. When you shoot somebody, there's inertia on the ragdolls. Have you noticed any of that stuff?
I've seen a video of this, the comparison, but I didn't feel it. But I also met one bug during the game 2 days ago. I was playing Dust 2, and as always, I was playing with op, as y'all know.
Of course,
yeah. And I asked my pre-mate to boost me in suicide to fight the middle CTs who are picking doors. And you know what? There was a bug which was completely the same when the CS2 was released, when you were standing up on your teammate being boosted and you were like floating or whatever, and you're being lower than usual, but on the opposite side they can see your head, and it was kind of bugged. And I hope it was just one time issue happened and it is not happening again, because I'm being boosted on Dust 2 pretty frequently, and if this is gonna be fucked up, this is bad. I'm not playing Dust 2 on Faceit anymore.
Now, fair enough. Like those type of bugs can't exist. Like they need to fix those ASAP. Same with like the bomb disappearing one, or like weapons were disappearing under the map as well. Like those things need to be fixed fucking ASAP. We can't be having those around for too long. Okay, so that's all the stuff with the updates we have for now. Anybody else have anything they want to say about the updates? No,
I'm responding to people in chat. I have more.
You're fine. You're right. You're a man of the people. You're a man of the people. You're keeping
I can say something.
Okay, Lucas, hit us.
It's really nice to see that there's actually updates coming.
Yeah,
that is nice.
I think the contrast is that a lot of people didn't like the animation changes, and then it broke things. Like obviously this anagraph 2 thing. I'm not a tech guy. I don't understand. But from my very basic understanding, this will have a positive effect in the future, hopefully on like packet loss and netcode and that type of stuff. But I don't know. Wait and see.
But now they're done with animations and they move on to more. But they're gonna move on to more exciting stuff, and that is exciting.
Like auction house on the with the stars. That's really exciting. You can bid for skins. That's going to be really cool. Okay, let's keep the show rolling, shall we? Now we only have a few things to talk about as far as the recent news is concerned. We don't need to spend too much time. What is the fix your sit, Prof?
Oh, I don't really have anything specific. I have some thoughts. Some more, some less controversial.
Mine was going to be about online Counter-Strike, but if you got something, go for it.
Oh, go for online Counter-Strike.
Everybody loves hating on online Counter-Strike. Let's go.
It's hard for me to go ranty on this, but I just think that this is a problem that will solve itself. So I'm getting on the milk carton for absolutely no reason. So should I still get on the milk carton?
Yeah, do it.
Get on it.
Okay. Online Counter-Strike creates an ambiguity that is impossible for us to solve, everybody. When you're playing at LAN, you're on the same computers, you're in the same place, you're eating the same food, sleeping in the same hotels, and that is the even playing field. That's what we're looking for. The ping is the same. Everything is the same. When we play online and we have these online tournaments, and it has implications on the VRS rankings, which then has implications to fucking the major qualification, these can't be decisions that our marquee tournament organizers are Blast and ESL are making. Blast right now, we have Bounty going on again, and I understand why they're doing it. I understand why ESL are going to move Pro League's group stages online for the first couple of weeks of next year, first season of next year. But these things can't be the solution to money problems. We need a different solution, right? And this is online Counter-Strike that is going to take up an entire week of Counter-Strike calendar space. Online CS taking up an entire week at tier 1 of like calendar space. How can we be making that decision? How can that be the choice? How can that be the direction that we're going in, right? It just feels we're, one step forward, 2 steps back type stuff. And this is not something that we should be happy with. This isn't something that people should be like, oh, yeah, well, it's all good. This is stuff that if you as a viewer or you as a Counter-Strike fan are really a fan of, we need it on LAN. There's no players in the same space. Nobody's standing up and yelling at each other. And people will be like, yeah, but the players can play from home and then they don't have to worry about this. Think about how many of these teams are going to be at a boot camp facility. How many, like, MOUZ are going to play on their LAN venue and have fans watch, which is actually really unique. I think what they're doing to use their space is great. But, right, the fact that they're now going to be on the road for 40 days or something, they're going to have to go from there. Then they're going to, if they make the playoffs, then they're going to have to go to Malta. Then from Malta, they're going to have to go to EWC. Then from there, they're going to have to go back together, I guess. To
play London groups.
They have 40 days.
To London.
40 days on the road. I was talking to some of the MOUZ management people. So yeah, from Cologne until whenever that's over. It's no being at home, which is pretty rough. That's an intense schedule.
I think it's end of London, right? So which is basically a month from now. Then you add Cologne on top of that. So
is online Counter-Strike shit, Boris? He likes all Counter-Strike, so he might. Oh yeah, just yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all we need.
He had to think about it for a second.
Because it's better than no Counter-Strike was probably going to be his counter in that situation.
I mean, if you're like, I fucking hate playing from home. Like, I mean, I'm used like to the LAN environment when you're playing the game and there's Apex in front of you screaming at someone or something else, like, and there is some aura in it. If you're in a tournament, this is a competition. When you're playing from a home, it's weird because, back and during the COVID, it was super bad because there was actually no difference between tournaments. It's either you're playing some CCT type tournament or a Katowice. It was absolutely the same thing, just sitting in your bedroom playing the games, and you don't feel the aura of a tournament, of a competition, because it was absolutely the same. And like personally, I fucking hate playing from home, because I have a chair which is pretty tall and it's not comfortable for me to play on it.
I mean, we would have a solution for that,
No, it's fine actually, because I was not playing a lot from home last year, but now I will have to.
That's all right.
Anthros, hit him up.
Maybe I'll see you in the face at Pugs again, Boris. Last time
we played Train, and I was trying to trash talk you, but you didn't say a single word, and you just owned me. I remember there was a game. I'm not sure if I was playing from home. I think it was in some tournament, because I queued for a face. I'm not sure if I was solo. I think I was playing with someone, and then there is 3 OCs in my team who are from some different team, not like FlyQuest or whatever was it.
Yeah.
And like 5 OCs against me. Like they even brought the Top Gun or whatever, Havoc back to play against me on a train. Whatever was it. And there was a SPUNJ. I was trying to like bully him in the chat, but he didn't answer a single word I said. And I played like under 1 KD. I was wrecked. That was a bad game.
Now, listen, Boris, I wasn't ignoring you on purpose. I have the enemy team muted at all times because a lot of people like to say really mean things to me. So I make sure that I don't let it affect me. People are really mean in faces. So I just have everybody muted. So
I would never.
Oh, shit. Okay.
For nothing.
Let's jump into talking about that last couple of bits of news. Then we'll get Boris out of here, and then we'll just cover off Blast Bounty, and then we'll call it a day, gentlemen. Okay, so Liquid, Profs put Liquid Crisis. Is that because of the Twistzz tweet, Prof?
Kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, not only that, though. Obviously, their ranking situation's not that great.
It's horrible, man. That's understated.
Well,
They're below
that's why
FlyQuest.
we have you, Striker. You can explain how bad it is, 1 to 10. But yeah,
0.
There we go. But yeah, they played EPL qualifier against Sashi. That was like, okay, we can write that off. They lost. Got like 2 days notice or something. Then they came to Cologne. The first stage, okay. Second stage, not good at all. Then they go play online, lose to VP Prodigy. Can anyone name more than any player on VP Prodigy? Probably not.
I bet Boris can.
Wait, one more time, please.
Who's on VP Prodigy? Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I've seen it live.
One player, do you know a name?
Oh, let me check.
He can't either. He can't.
There is three Borg something. I remember him playing a Faceit against me, and yeah, this is the only nickname I remember because I think I was owning him playing up on Faceit.
There you go.
And
and
then how you
then
remember people.
obviously Twistzz tweet doesn't help, something like that. Obvious the results speak for themselves. He didn't have to say anything. Adds just a bit more of the concern, I think, for the team. Obviously brought in also a new coach, which takes some time to adapt and stuff like that. But we don't really expect the team to reset and like be worse than they were before. So it just seems like a year of constantly.
It's been more than that for him, right? It's been
changing things, but not really working out, and like things behind the scenes don't look that great based on everything we heard. Like who they wanted to get, didn't want to get, or how the roster is right now. Naf's position on the team. Was he the one that was supposed to stay or not, or was that the right decision? It just seems like whatever they do, maybe there's like one good decision and 2 bad decisions, or poorly timed decisions, and just constantly in flux without any run of like 2 good tournaments in a row,
What do you think of Liquid, Boris?
I feel like the worst thing that you could do if you're during the rough times in your team, I can understand that you have bad results or something is wrong. Maybe there is some tension, but if you are bringing it publicly in that way, as we are not a team or whatever, it's the worst thing that you can do, because you can just say sorry to your fans and work on stuff like privately, but if you are calling it out in the public, like we are not a team, you are blaming the others, and it's not a good thing, and it's not a good sign, and like something is wrong with them, because like if you are looking at into the roster, they have pretty good pieces. Like some of their players are like they could be good in their roles in where they're comfortable, but looking throughout like this half a year or so, where we have never seen Liquid playing on the same page, I would say, like as a team. There was something always going wrong, and you cannot like say that the roster change of Sui changed the things or whatever. Like they had the time to get the shit together, but they just couldn't, and I don't understand how is it like even working.
So let me pose a hypothetical for you, and maybe it's not even that far out of the realms of reality. Let's say that Liquid wanted to replace a player, and they said, okay, well, we're going to replace Naf, and you might have some similar positions or roles that you played within Spirit, and they came to you and they said, hey, magixx, do you want to join? And you look at all the players on that team, would that be a team that you would consider joining, or do you think you wouldn't find success there?
I feel like any offer is better than no offer.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's hard to argue it. Yeah, but there's clearly something not functioning over there in the Liquid camp, and maybe they just like, let's say they do good at Bounty Online. They just beat Ecstatic. Sure, it wasn't the best way to do it, but they still won. online Counter-Strike against Danes. Everyone knows that that's hard. They're becoming the new Germans. So, you know, like...
What does that mean?
Well, the Germans are onliners, man. Anyway.
Yeah, that's been the case for like 20 years.
But I feel like the implication there would be some other nationalities with, you know, where I'm not going to name any names. There's other teams that are more dubious right now on the internet.
Online and cheating are different things. Onliners means that when you go to LAN, you shit your pants.
But weren't all the Germans back then? Not all of them, but those Germans were cheating.
Well, yeah, so definitely in source, yeah. Okay, so where was I even going with this? Oh yeah, just saying that there's problems in Liquid. Anyway, it's not looking good over there. Okay, final piece of news that we'll just quickly get through is I've lost my little page. There it is. Aurora pulling out of the Blast Open. So they're not the only ones, right? Falcons aren't going there either, but Aurora pulling out. It's interesting because they skipped. Well, they didn't skip Cologne. Zentaris skipped Cologne. Why did we get any reason as to why Aurora skipping the Open event?
They cited a busy schedule or something along those lines when it's being played online, which is just curious.
Or maybe they don't want to have to travel because I think they're playing at the moment from Serbia, right? I saw they're doing some content from Serbia the other day, which is good for the bounty because of like the ping.
Did you see Zentaris there?
Yeah.
He was there?
Yeah, they would. Okay. I think so. I think they were doing like it looked like they were doing like a round table podcasty type thing. I'll see if I can find it. I might be wrong.
They might crazy, but they haven't said anything yet because like the last 2 days, let's say I've been a bit, on the way back, so maybe I missed something. But has anybody? Oh, never mind. They did say it. He's back for all the next tournaments.
Yeah, I apparently see. I don't. This isn't gospel, and I would.
Did we not post about this?
I don't know. Did you? Maybe you didn't.
Do I have to get on somebody's ass?
Yeah. Oh dear.
There we go.
Oh dear. Maybe you did. I don't know. I'm not trying to get people in trouble.
It's not on HLTV. Don't worry. It's so.
There you go. So what? So why is this news? Because they're skipping it.
Yeah,
that's why.
It was more about this entire situation and everything. So, but if he is back, then seems like
it's not
fine.
News.
Yeah, because I also didn't know if he was going to be playing Blast. Bounty even. So and how everything's playing out for them.
I don't know if I'm speaking out of school right now. But when I was in the shuttle or I was talking to somebody throughout the course of Cologne and I said, oh, yeah, it's kind of crazy that he's skipping this event. And then I was talking to someone, I literally forget who. And they're like, and I mentioned, oh, maybe it's something to do with his kid, right? Because Zentaris is semi-recently a dad. It's not like it just happened, but it's still kind of recent. And I was like, maybe it's something to do with his kid. Like, maybe it's a birthday or something along those lines. And someone said, yeah. I don't remember if it was a daughter. I think someone said, yeah, it's his daughter's birthday and he didn't want to skip it or something. I don't want people to take that as like actual news. That was just in a conversation I was having with someone who I literally can't even remember the person. And that was where the conversation ended up. But, maybe he just couldn't play Cologne because, he wanted to really be at home for his daughter's birthday or something along those lines. So I don't know. I'm spreading misinformation.
Misinformation.
Yeah, that's the one. Misinformation. Mr. Information, they call me.
He's going to be mad after that, for sure.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, everybody. All right, look, there's no real news here. So, Boris, we're going to wrap this up with you, mate. Is there anything else you want to say to the people at home?
Boy. Not really?
Not
Just
really?
a quick question, Chad. Do you think we're going to spend more than 5 minutes talking about Blast Bounty?
Chat, are we waiting for the Brno Major?
I am.
We will be there no matter what. Rocky Masterclass in the Grand Final is gonna be undisputably goated and written as the biggest W in history books. Are we all agree on this?
I think
we're all in agreement.
I think we have to.
I think so. And if no one's gonna do it, we need to do it. Actually, there was a question. It's kind of tied to this. Let's say if you're not playing at this Brno Major, there's an HLTV thread question, kind of a question. He said magixx could actually replace the stage host. He could interview multiple languages, translate, and most importantly, actually entertain the crowd. I'm sure he's experienced enough to not ask, how do you feel? Would this be an offer you couldn't refuse?
Yes, this
for
is
the
going to
Brno
be
Major?
absolute cinema. Yes. I will be the trophy bearer for the Brno Major unless I'm playing in the arena.
Okay.
I will be the host. I will be the commentator. I will be an analyst. I will get I will get all the job done properly.
Nice.
I like it. All right. And Prof, you're right. We don't need to talk about bounty. We'll talk about it next week when it's gone to the
I like
land
how we
portion.
just ignore the fact that we had a major announced.
Oh,
We all knew it was a major.
I know. That's my point exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, but the people in the arena were excited. So that's the main thing. You know, they hung around, they cheered, they had a good time.
Huge reaction. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but
So
this is the thing. We know the hardcores. That's our audience. There are people who are genuinely just Counter-Strike fans who aren't like reading the news all the time and they're not up to date with all these things. You know, they just like going to the events. So anyway, let's get out of here. It's been 2 hours. I think Prof's right. We can talk about the Blast Bounty stuff later. If you want to watch Blast Bounty, head over to Blast channels. It's on Twitch. It's on YouTube. It's 4 best of 3s a day. It's fucking single elimination. It's online. You can't get enough of it. But right now, we got to thank Boris. We got to thank Mr. magixx for his time. If you want to go watch your stream, and it's still the same channel, right? Let me find it here. Twitch.tv. I've got it. I follow your stream. So magixx. You got numbers at the end, don't you?
No, it's LFF.
LFF.
what does that mean?
I'm not telling that.
magixx LFF. Okay. Go and follow magixx on Twitch so you can watch his stream when he turns the streams on. And yeah, cool. Let's get out of here. Thanks to our sponsors, SkinPlace, as well as Anthros. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. It's been another episode of HLTV Confirmed. We'll be back next week. And might even have a guest then as well. We'll talk to everybody later. Peace.
Sell in-game items at the best prices in just a couple of clicks. We are the biggest instant sell service for in-game items like Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, and Rust. Easy selling process and instant withdrawal of funds to the most popular payment methods. More than 140,000 deals and 50,000 active sellers every month. Use promo code HLTV5 and get a 5% bonus on the sale of your skins. SkinPlace. Sell items now.
When every move counts, your chair shouldn't hold you back. Top esports players are switching to Anthros for unbeatable support and performance that keeps them in the game longer. Designed to support your unique shape and built with medical-grade components, Anthros is setting a new standard for comfort. Check out the Anthros difference today and get ready to fix your sit, because gaming deserves more than just a chair.